Sowing and reaping is a law. The principle of sowing and reaping is a universal law set up by God. And it's a law. He set up all the laws, be them spiritual or physical or whatever they may be, but it's a law. Today, I'm going to be talking about how this law really applies to everything. And it's in business, and we're going to talk about relationships and our money, our finances, and our personal growth. We're also going to be talking about what you plant. So let me be very specific. Your actions, your thoughts, your habits, your words, what you plant determines what you're going to harvest, which means what are your results going to be? Success, failure, mediocrity, or just massive, great results in these areas. So as we get started, let me start with the scripture. Galatians 6:7 says, "Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows." Man, that is so good. God is always so good. But I want you to think about this. It says, do not be deceived. God will not be mocked. He can't be mocked. He set up the laws, and you're going to reap what you sow. Again, your thoughts, your actions, your words, your beliefs. You're going to get it. You're going to get it back. So let's talk about understanding this law of sowing and reaping. You will reap what you sow, so the quality of your seed matters. What's the quality of what you're putting in you? Again, your thoughts, your words, your reading, the skill sets you're building, your actions. The quality of that makes a big difference. Think about it in the natural. If you have a poor quality seed, what's going to happen? You're going to get a poor plant. You're going to get something really, if it's contaminated, that's what you get back. The quality makes a big difference. So make sure you're putting good quality things in as well. Here's another part of the law so you can understand it. You always reap more than you sow. Small actions will lead to big outcomes. So when we think about reaping more than what we sow, I don't know why, but an apple tree. An apple tree, one apple, take one seed, you can grow another apple tree that produces lots of apples that all have seeds in them that you can reap more and more. What happens in the negative or the positive? If you sow negative thoughts, negative words, negative beliefs, negative actions, you're usually going to reap back more than what you put out. That's how the law works. We reap more than what we sow. Here's one final aspect of the law, and there's a whole lot I'm going to cover right now, but you also reap later than you sow. We don't get it back immediately. You have to be patient. What you sow today doesn't necessarily come back today. You have to be consistent at watering that seed after you plant it, harvesting it. You have to make sure that during the time that the seed is in your heart and your mind and your actions, then what do? You pull out all the negativity. That's like, if it was in a field, what would you do? Get the birds out of there that are eating your crop. Put a scarecrow out there. Do whatever you need to. So we need to make sure that we understand it's not happening overnight. You're going to reap more, but it's a law. So let's talk about what are some of the right seeds to sow in different areas. The right seeds in maybe your business and or your career might be invest in you. First off, you are a good seed. You have to invest in learning more. You have to invest in developing your skill set, getting better. You have to develop yourself in whatever your business career is. It's one of the best things you can ever do. You need to build relationships in business. You need to have great relationships with people that you can benefit and they can benefit from what you're doing. Relationships in business are huge. It's very, very important to have the right relationships. Another thing in business is integrity. You need to sow integrity. That means always do the right thing. Always be consistent. Integrity is, yes, being truthful and being honest, but it's also being consistent and doing that over a long period of time. If you're not sowing that, you're just every once in a while you're consistent and you do the right thing, you're going to reap that back. So let's talk about money. You need to invest wisely. You need to put your money into things that produce a good return. So maybe in certain stocks or mutual funds or bonds or whatever it may be, or in your business. But you need to watch that money. You need to invest it in things that are giving you a good return. You want to avoid in your money, don't sow seeds into what? Get rich quick schemes. They don't work. They usually, and that's why it's called a scheme. You want to invest in things that, yeah, if you want to reap a lot, you usually have to give good value, have to sow a lot. You also, in money, want to have multiple streams of income. Because anything can happen in this life. One thing can go away. Well, have your money not only invested in many different, diversified stocks and bonds and mutual funds or whatever businesses, but also you could buy tangible things like real estate or gold, actual gold. You could invest in a lot of different things, but diversify is very important in money. What about sowing and reaping in relationships? If you sow kindness, you're going to get it back. Maybe not from that person, but you will get it back. So respect, appreciation for people, communicate. So great communication. Now people are going to communicate back with you. You're going to reap back again more of what you give out. So in a relationship, help other people and you get help back. I can't tell you the amount of times that later on in my career, I had people doing things for me for free. And they're helping me and I'm thinking, why are they doing that? Then my mind goes back and God will bring it to my attention. Remember all the people you've helped for free over the years? You've sowed a lot of things out and it comes back. It's amazing in relationships. Again, it may not come back from the same source you gave it out to, but you're going to reap what you sowed. Remember, God will not be mocked. You're going to reap what you sow. What about expecting those immediate results back? Make sure that you're not expecting, like, I sowed into that person just so I can get something back, or into that business, or into my finances. Over the long haul, it's going to come back, but not necessarily instantly or overnight. So I'm going to transition into the last point on this part of the training today, is your personal growth. What do you need to sow into you to get better? Read. Readers are leaders. There's something different that happens when you read versus just listening. Read things. And yes, listen, watch things. But then you need to, again, in your own personal growth, apply that knowledge. It's not going to really help you if you just get information and you don't go out and take action on it. So go out and apply that information. Get the knowledge, but then use it. That will form understanding. You start now understanding. You start seeing what works, what doesn't work, and you will start getting wisdom in something. You also need to surround yourself with growth-minded individuals. The people in your life will make you or break you. Hang out with people that are going where you want to go, that are having fun, doing the things you want to have fun at. Surround yourself with that. That's how you get better. Don't surround yourself with people that are not going where you want to go. Now, let's focus on the harvest. Once you've sowed these seeds, you've watered the seeds, that means you keep applying the information. You're learning, you're growing, you're putting your money out there, you're watching it, you're building your business, you have your website up, you have your marketing finally producing results. You sow all the things you start wanting to reap. Well, when you reap, you're going to get the harvest. That's what we're all looking for. What are you going to harvest? How do you harvest it? First off, be patient. You want to make sure that you're not expecting it again overnight. Good things and great things take time. Usually, it's not going to happen in a second. Stay persistent and don't quit. Too many times people quit. They quit right before their acres of diamonds, before that gold. That's one thing that I've learned out of almost anything else. I learned what to quit on and what not to quit on. I'm still learning that. Quit with the bad stuff. Get rid of bad habits and patterns, but don't quit if it's worthwhile. Keep learning and growing. And that's one thing about myself and our team and our family. We just don't quit. We're going to keep going until we succeed. Make sure that you are very persistent. Recognize and seize the opportunities that come up, because there's going to be things that come up as you're sowing great seeds. If you're paying attention now, you're going to see them. But if you don't expect success, even if you're sowing a lot of great seeds, if you don't expect it, you're probably not going to recognize the things right in front of you that it's like, wow, this is right in front of me that I can start harvesting. So pay attention, look for the gold all around you. And keep sowing more seeds. This is another thing you want to do. We want to reap for the rest of our lives. So don't sow for a season and then quit. And say, well, I sowed for 7 years. Great. Sow for the rest of your life. That way you keep reaping great relationships and money and results and whatever it is you want in your life over a long period of time. Keep sowing so you keep reaping. You want to always be sowing more seeds. Now let's transition over into negative sowing. Bad seeds that you sow will lead to bad results, bad harvests. So what do you not want to sow? Procrastination. Like, don't just put things off. Things you know you should be doing, don't do that. Do whatever needs to be done now. Become a do-it-now person. I'm a do-it-now person. I get things done. That's just who I am. Otherwise, you're going to miss opportunities. And if you procrastinate, you could lose out on a lot. Or it could take you 10 times as long to get there that you could have got there very, very quickly. Don't sow poor relationships. Stay away from poor relationships. If you sow into bad relationships, you're going to get bad things back. So be careful again. I know I mentioned that a lot, but it's very important. Don't sow bad financial seeds. Watch your money. I remember something a long time ago that I've done well at times and I've done really poorly at, but they said, watch your money. Don't just turn it over to someone else and expect it to come back. And this one training, this guy said, I gave this money to a great money manager to watch for me. He said, he must still be watching it to this day because I don't have that money anymore. He didn't watch his financial investments. He didn't pay attention. So you want to make sure you don't sow laziness and just think things are going to happen without sowing great seeds. So you're going to get debt and stress if you do that financially. Now, as we wrap it up here, I want you to think about the action steps for you. I want you right now to think about one area in your life. What can you look at that you need to improve on, you want to improve on? An area that you can sow better seeds, more seeds, you can water the seeds, you can, and by the way, all of this, ask God for help. He'll lead you on the right actions to take and the right even area to focus on first or second or third. But I'm asking you right now to pray about it, think about it, ask God. Think about one area, just one, that you can identify and start sowing better seeds in so you can reap a better harvest. And then the next step that I want you to do is then make a plan to take consistent action. If you're sowing seeds, what do you have to do? Water it, take the weeds out, go harvest it, do whatever you need to. But that doesn't happen without consistent action. So when you look at it like us with this YouTube channel, we're growing our YouTube channel and we're trying to provide more and more value all the time and just give more good content away that we've been helping our clients for years and years grow. Well, we're sowing seeds out there and we reap a harvest from it. And it's not just so we can reap a harvest, but we're trying to sow more and more. So if there's content you want us to really explore that is going to help you, let us know. We will, as long as we have expertise in that area, we'll give you more valuable content. We want to just give and give and give because it's a law. We're going to reap more and more so we can give more and more. And we're going to reap more and then we can give more and more. So understand sowing and reaping, and make sure that you find a group also that you can have accountability, or a person that will hold you accountable to be sowing and reaping the right things. And if you don't have a group, reach out to us. We have accountability partners that would love to hold you accountable, and maybe you can hold them accountable. But make sure that you find someone. If you don't have someone, reach out. We will help you in this journey. And stay faithful and trust in the process. And I'm wrapping it up right now. Know that you're going to reap what you sow. It's a law. It's happening right now. It will always happen. You can look around at the results in your life. Don't go blaming anyone else. Understand that you are reaping what you've been sowing for the last 2 months, 2 years, 2 decades, however long it's been. You're reaping it right now. You want better things? Sow better seeds, water those, nurture those, and you're going to get better results. So with that, if we can help you, let us know. Subscribe to our channel. And as always, remember to expect success. Thanks.